Welcome back to another episode of East Coast Hour, episode number 8. I'm Chuck Boudreau, your host. Thank you for being here. Well, this is a channel that's been designed to host East Coast artists and their videos, an opportunity to be able to feature their music and share what's going on around the East Coast music scene. So thanks for being here. Lined up in this hour, we're going to hear from Sydney band Fire Valley Fire, as well harpist Adria Jackson. Fort Wilde will be around, and we'll have a chat as well with a recent ECMA award honoree, Ian Gosbee, so stay tuned. We're also going to announce the winner of the 2 tickets to see Robert Bouchard at the Bredor Lakes Inn coming up on May 11th, and we will launch a brand new contest for another great prize. We're going to kick off this hour, though, with a talented Antigonish-based band, Our Father's Fools, with their newest single, Canada Strong, on an East Coast Hour with Chuck.
We're from Nova Scotia, and this is an original tune. This one's called Canada Strong.
And we say, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing proud and strong. The winter can be frigid, so the chill inside your bones. I hope you got a love one for the cozy up at home. Well, the wind will leave you shivering, with a mist and with a storm. But a nation's hearts are warm. We say, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing straight and tall. And we say, hey, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing proud and strong. Hey, hey, hey. Beauty of the mountains in the west you will aspire. From miles across the country, our Cape Breton you admire. We'll talk a little accent, we'll share a drink or so. We'll treat a total stranger like our foe. And we say, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing straight and tall. And we say, hey, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing proud and strong. Hey, hey, hey. And we say, hey, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing straight and tall. And we say, hey, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing straight and tall. And we say, hey, hey, we're from Canada. We say sorry, even when it's not our fault. But don't you worry, when push comes to shove, we'll be standing proud and strong. Hey, 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 hey.
That was Our Father's Fools, Ray, Dennis, and Jason with Canada Strong here on an East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Boudreau. Well, tours have been announced, a few of them we're going to talk about right now. Peter McGuinness is on a bit of a tour around Cape Breton. He kicked it off on Friday night in Port Hood, and he's headed off to Mabu and the Parish Hall with Aaron McDonald. That's coming up on April 27th. Then he's going to hit dates in Marguerite, Inverness, Membertou, Bedeque, and Craignish between now and June 29th. You can check out his Instagram site at _Peter McGuinness_. Check him out. Morgan Toney as well, fresh off of his Juno nomination, is headed out on tour beginning in May 2nd in Charlottetown. Other dates planned for St. Andrews, New Brunswick, as well Halifax. In Fredericton, he's going to be in Broad Cove as well, Peggy's Cove, and Yarmouth, among others. You can follow him at Morgan Toney Music. And as well, Cassie and Maggie, they're headed out west on their West tour. They're hitting locations in the US and Canada. They're going to be off to Red Deer, Medicine Hat, Calgary. They're going to be in Grass Valley as well as Conway, all between May 2nd and the 19th. Check them out at Cassie and Maggie. Next up is Alana Yorke with her song called Marion. But first, here's another band out of Halifax that's promoting an upcoming event for themselves. Here's Musycsyn on an East Coast Hour with Chuck.
Hi there, I'm Bill. This is Theo, Mark, and Chris. We're Musycsyn, and we're playing at the Halifax Central Library on Spring Garden Road on May the 4th from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. Playing nothing but science fiction folk music from the Byrds to David Bowie to the Dead Milkmen, the Flaming Lips, and Neil Young. It's very varied, and we'll even throw some of our own songs about artificial intelligence and close encounters of the third kind. Dr. Rex built a robot that could think, and later on his mind built something he could not comprehend and spell the end for humankind. Spell the
Little baby, your eyes, your green and gold, green and gold, and your eyes, your deep dark hole, deep and dark, deep dark holes, and I
That was Alana Yorke with Marion here on an East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Woodrow. Thank you for being here. Alana has released a new single called All the Flowers from her new album called Destroyer. That's due out on May 17th. So next week, join East Coast Hour when I will have Krista Luddington join me on an East Coast Hour to talk about Stanfest 2024. Krista will share some of the lineup for this year's festival, and she will delve into a very special tribute night that's going to kick off this year's event, paying tribute to the late Bruce Guthrow. And she will also have a very special announcement as well. So join me for an East Coast Hour along with Krista next weekend. So here's a set to get your toe tapping. It's Dara, Smith-MacDonald, and Adam Young from a set that was filmed at Frolic and Folk Pub in Iona, here on an East Coast Hour with Chuck. That was Dara, Smith-MacDonald, and Adam Young here on an East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Boudreau. You can check out Dara and Adam coming up at the Doryman Pub in Shettycamp on May 25th. They're also going to be at Governor's June 15th and at the Mabu Market on the 16th. And you can check them out again at the Bedeck Gathering. That's going to happen each Wednesday, beginning on June 19th. Well, we're going to announce the Robert Bouchard ticket winner. It's time. Thank you very much to the Bedore Lakes Inn and the Lockmasters Quarters in St. Peters. They were gracious in giving up a prize for 2 tickets to see Robert Bouchard coming up May 11th at the Lockmasters Pub. And congratulations goes out to Pam Sampson of Little Ants. Pam was the winner of those 2 tickets. She'll be contacted and heading off to see Robert Bouchard coming up on May 11th. So again, thank you so much to those who entered the contest. And the way we get you to enter is make sure you watch the episode. Then you need to subscribe to the channel and comment on the episode itself, letting you know that you have subscribed and as well where you're watching from. And Pam did exactly that. So congratulations to Pam. We'll be in contact. And thank you to the Lockmasters Quarter once again. Stay tuned for another contest coming up very soon. Stay tuned. The ECMAs have announced their honorary award winners to be handed out at the ECMAs in Charlottetown, May 1st to the 5th. The East Coast Music Award recipients for 2024 in a various number of categories. For Director's Special Achievement Award, that goes to the late Bruce Guthrow. The Dr. Helen Creighton Lifetime Achievement Award, Dennis Parker. Musician's Achievement Award, Daryl Gallant. John Poirier was the winner of the Industrial Builder. Bucky Adams Memorial Award goes to Scott Parsons. The Stomp and Tom Awards are given out into the various regions represented by the ECMAs. Pamela Morgan of Newfoundland will be a recipient, as well Stephen Muse of Cape Breton, Zachary Atkinson of New Brunswick, and Carrie Wynne McLeod of Prince Edward Island. They are the recipients. And so I did skip over one of the artists from Nova Scotia, and that is because that artist is going to be joining us very shortly. Ian Gosbee is receiving the Stomp and Tom Award for Nova Scotia, and Ian is this week's East Coast Hour Showcase artist. Giving you an upfront and personal with an East Coast artist. This is your East Coast Hour Showcase with your host, Chuck Boudreau. East Coast Artist Showcase featuring an artist who is just recently been named as one of the honorary award winners for an ECMA coming up in May, and hails from Nova Scotia. It is Ian Gosbee. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Now, Ian, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, your musical background. Where did it all begin for you?
Sure. So I grew up in Amherst. My family, my father was in the Black Watch. He played the bagpipes. And my mother was a Highland dancer. So she taught a lot of Highland dancing at home and piano. So that's where it originated from. Really, my mother put me into violin lessons at an early age, and then this blossomed from there, on to the next instrument. My brother played drums, so naturally there were some drums at home. I got on there, and then I went through the school programs, doing different instruments, bass guitar, orchestra, jazz, that sort of stuff. And it's just been a roller coaster of a music journey for me.
Was there ever a family band?
Well, my father put out a bagpipe album. I wasn't in it. My older brother played the snare drum. So they were both in it. I just kind of like there's such an age gap between my brother. He's 10 years older than me. So I was just watching in the wings.
Yeah. So all along, I mean, growing up at an earlier age and through school and learning different instruments, has music kind of always been a major part of your life?
It's always been there. I should say that like my brother and I formed a bar pub band. I was still underage. He used to forge my mother's signature saying that I was allowed into the bar. And then eventually I wasn't even allowed off the stage. I had to hang behind the little room that musicians go on breaks.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where it all started. This growing up and just continuing doing music all through my life. Yeah.
Now, there's been a number of accomplishments. I mean, so I mean, you're maybe downplaying
Mm.
your accomplishments or your musical involvement for a little bit, but there's been a number of accolades that I think that people should acknowledge. A lot of awards and recognitions through, like I'm looking here, the Chronicle Herald, where you were named Pick of the Week, Music Nova Scotia Song of the Day. Main Street, Nova Scotia, you were on a searchlight competition there, a world songwriting contest where you were a finalist. So you've had a long history and of acknowledgement and accomplishment in your music as well.
I'm very humbled. I don't like to toot my horn. It's my passion. It's always been there. To be recognized. It's it's great to be recognized, but I do it regardless. But no, it's like the ECMA Stomp and Tom Award. It was I it's a very a humble accomplishment for me. I feel I'm very humbled that I was recognized in the community here. So yeah,
Yeah, congratulations for that. I mean,
thank
you're
you.
one of the honorary award winners that is coming up for the awards being presented in Charlottetown coming up in May. So you just
Yeah,
acknowledged it, Stump and Tom Award, which I think there's an award given for each of the regions that the ECMA recognizes, and you were the Nova Scotia honoree.
yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And in reading through your website, I'm seeing kind of you traverse the genres as well in your music, and one of the songs that we're going to play today, I think, really touches on the pop side of it. But there's I see folk, I see rock, country, pop. It like is there one particular that you have more passion for?
Well, growing up, I listened to loud music like heavy metal. But with my parents being Celtic and bagpipes, it was very mesh between. Then I had the grandparents that listened to bluegrass music and country. So it's just a big pot of music that I listen to. And it depends on my mood. I can listen to bluegrass for weeks and it drives my wife crazy. Uh, and then I'll switch and I'm like, okay, what's the switch the dial, and then it'll be country, then it'll be rock. It's a little mixture of everything, right? Um, I'm not a master of anything. I just kind of like dabble along to each genre. Like, I'll listen because I play bass, I'll listen to some funk and some
Mhm.
the hip hop pop elements, and being a drummer, it's got some really good beats. Um, and then back on guitar, it could be a solo like, Eddie Van Halen, just all sorts of stuff. It's just a mixture of everything. I recently got a new upgraded my car, and I have satellite radio, and I've been listening to like this groove channel, and that's where the last two singles I've been putting out fall under this new disco pop genre. It's fun. I don't have to do much. It's just on the keyboard and get some drums down.
Mhm.
I find with the Ray of Sunshine album, like that was very layered with different instruments. I had bagpipes on a song as a tribute to my mother called Highlands. I had a lot of keyboards on it and piano, and so it's just a mixture of everything, really.
So
Um,
for the most part, the music you're producing, is this something you're doing kind of on your own?
the last two singles, I should credit. So I do a lot of work here in my own studio, but I've always worked with John Murphy at a Simple Productions in Lower Sackville. Uh, there's quite a history there. Like I just went to this music event and they had a silent auction, and he was offering studio time, and that's how that relationship got built. And I've known John since 2007, so it's been a long journey with him and I, and it's I had to. I apologize, John, because sometimes I come up with some weird ideas. I'm in the studio and it's like, one minute I'll have a rock song, and next minute I'll have a country folk album song, or so it's a I think it keeps both him and I both on our toes. Like you never know what's gonna come out of my brain, I guess.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So we're going to feature Midnight Confessions, one of your songs here, one of your videos. It's a lyric video that we're playing for people.
Yeah.
Talk about the song itself. How did that one come to be?
Sure. Yeah, it was just got developed here in my little homemade studio here. Very much listening to the new disco genre, if that's, I guess that's a term they call it now. And it was lyrically, it was going to be an acoustic song, but I had some keyboards and I was just playing around with different synthesizers. When you get lost in that world of synthesizers, holy wow. No, it was just something fun to do. Lyrically, it's about two lovers and they meet up at midnight and they exchange their secrets in that while the city sleeps. So no, it's I just released it today, so
Nice.
enjoy.
That's great. That's great. So we're going to feature that video in just a moment. But where can people find your music if they want to find out more about you or find out more about your listen to more of your music? Where can they find you?
Just my name, iangosbee.com, or any I try my best on social media. I don't post too much on it, but when I think about it, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. So Ian, thank you so much for joining, and we're going to feature your video for the watching audience. And so thanks a lot for doing this.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
We'll get you to introduce your song.
Hi, my name's Ian Alistair Gosbee. You're listening to my new single called Midnight Confessions. It's an intimate, heartfelt moment shared between two people here on the East Coast Hour with Chuck Boudreau. Spoken in every caress. In this midnight confession, we confess. Midnight confessions under the moon.
That was Ian Gosbee's lyric video, Midnight Confessions, here on East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Boudreau. ECMA.com is where you can follow the lineup and the showcases for the festival that's taking place again May 1st to the 5th in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. You can get your festival passes there and find the list of the showcases where everyone's taking part and performing. I took part as a judge panelist this year for Album of the Year, so I'm especially going to be interested in seeing who will win that award. I ask you to subscribe to this channel, East Coast Hour, and watch the videos, comment on them, like, share. As well, I'm also looking for some artists to do 3-song mini concerts where they will share their music, they'll share some stories and some upcoming events. And if you are an East Coast artist, I would love to receive your mini concert to share here on the channel. Send your link or email me for more information at eastcoasthour@gmail.com. We're going to move on to another group now. It's a Sydney-based rock band, Fire Valley Fire. Here's Love in the Dark on East Coast Hour with Chuck. was Fire Valley Fire with Love in the Dark on an East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Boudreau. Thank you for being here. Fire Valley Fire is a rock and roll band that comes from Sydney, Nova Scotia with deep roots in East Coast music. And the band's collective history encompasses rock, punk, folk, country, and metal. Now, here's a bit of a switch from our traditionally played videos. Not often you'll see a harpist on East Coast Hour, but Adria reached out and shared her videos, so I'd like to share one with you. She's from Halifax. Here's Adria Jackson with her video, Halifax Shores, on an East Coast Hour with Chuck.
One day you went out to sea. As I watched from the Halifax shore, the crew waved goodbye with adventure in their eye. Will you come back my way? Innocent of their fate, the storm rushed in with such rage. The ship shook and rolled like an old rag doll. Will you come back my way? 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 I rocked our baby to the wind and the rain. The storm died and arrived. You came back my way. 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 One day you went out to sea.
Hey there, it's Brett Matthews. Just wanted to jump on and say thanks to Chuck for including my music in his program for East Coast Hour. It's a great program for someone like myself to, showcase their music to a whole other audience that I might not have reached otherwise. So big thank you to him. And this is East Coast Hour with Chuck.
The old car's sitting in the backyard, though it hasn't run in a while. Weeds have grown up through the engine of my prided rust pile. Oh, I still remember our first drive, moon up high by my side, through the rain and through the snow. Future unwritten. Into the unknown together. Oh, I polished up the chrome rims, I picked you up to go to prom. Your
disapproving father, your teary-eyed mom. Our high school days went by so fast. I thought our youthful years would last. We're standing at a new crossroad, future unwritten. Into the unknown together. Thinking about hauling up that old car, clean off the leaves and the branches. We had some good times in that Chevy, from Lover's Lane to high school dances. We never took the trip we wanted, the one we talked about the most. Let's get that old jalopy running, let's drive it coast to coast. Let's take it for one final drive. You'll be Ronnie, I'll be Clyde. We owe it to ourselves to go. Future unwritten. Into the unknown together.
That was Jordan Musycsyn with Future Unwritten here on an East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Woodrow. Thanks for being here once again. Well, I have a new contest to announce. It's a prize that's given to us by the Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre. The Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre has become a partner with East Coast Hour and has shared different tickets that they have available and on the go for various events. Here's an upcoming event, May 11th. A group called The Relatives are going to be at the Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre in the Bearhead Conference Room. The Relatives are a Mi'kmaq music group who began entertaining a little over 30 years ago. Lead vocalist Darren Stevens, along with his brother Robert on bass, cousin Tom Sillaboy on guitar, and brothers as well, Stan and Tom Johnson, are on keyboards and drums, along with their cousin Derek. Very much of a family event. They're all part of the band, and their unforgettable 1,000 plus shows has spanned over 3 decades. They played in various venues across the Maritimes and parts of Quebec and Ontario. And the highlights of their career came from their release of their first album back in 1999 called Shining Star. They're known for their unbeatable energy on stage and distinctive cultural style that gets each audience member up from their seats and to dance to many of their original songs. You could win yourself 2 tickets to go see the Relatives at the Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre coming up on May 11th. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel, comment on this video on episode number 8. Let me know that you have subscribed, where you're watching from, and you could be the winner. We'll announce it next Sunday. So get yourself 2 tickets to see The Relatives here on an East Coast Hour. Here's a little taste of The Relatives back from a number of years ago. It is The Relatives here on an East Coast Hour with Chuck. That was The Relatives on East Coast Hour. I'm Chuck Boudreau. Don't forget, subscribe, comment. You could win yourself 2 tickets to see them coming up at the Civic Center in Port Hawkesbury on May 11th. That wraps up another show for this week, so thank you very much for being here. And next week, I'm going to be joined by Krista Luddington with a Standfest update and a big announcement as well. So join me. Let's wrap up this week with Fort Wilde and Broken Fortress on East Coast Hour with Chuck.